car, and he kind of leaned over and nudged me, and he said, and yes, I can get in it. So
Well, that just shows me he's got in there to see if it'll work. He knows.
That's exactly right. So, hashtag get KG back behind the wheel, right? Hey, and real quick, a big shout out to Kevin and Tammy Gundaker as well. They've actually got a race going on back home, an indoor go-kart race going on right now. It's actually live on Flow Racing, the Clash at the Coliseum, which is really cool. That's done really well also. So big shout out to them as they look into some different business ventures also, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I think Tammy's flying out here Wednesday. She's not going to let Kevin and the boys have all the fun, so she'll be out here.
Well, someone's got to keep them under control, let's be honest.
Absolutely. Well, I also want to mention that I believe the Turbo Souvenir van, also known as a DHL truck, is down on Souvenir Row, so make sure to go see Caitlin down there for the latest Turbo merchandise. And we talked about it, Dustin. Tyler Erb, Stormy Scott, Jonathan Davenport, Brian Shirley, and the gang. Several teams are going to be leaving here when the racing's over a week from today, and they're going to drive 2,100 miles to go kick off Speed Weeks at All Tech Raceway with Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And, man, I tell you what, these teams put some miles on these haulers, and we really appreciate them coming out here to put on a show for the fans.
The C.W. McCall song Convoy goes through my head every time you mention that, just, seeing these guys roll down the highway like that, right?
So was it Black Duck? Was that the truck? What was the main truck in Convoy? Now I'm making you think, aren't I?
Oh, God, yeah, I know. Yeah, I would have. There are 100 people at home yelling at me right now, and everyone knows that I'm this giant fan of older country music like that, and I'm completely drawing a blank.
That's a good one. Still can't believe Michael Rigsby hasn't seen Six Pack. All right, green flag is out on Sport Truck RV qualifying presented by Screven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze. First qualifiers we said will be Gordy Gundaker in cart number 11. He'll be joined on speed by the 91P of Jason Papich out of Pomo, California, and Jason Fager out of Bloomington, Illinois. As we'll see who can put the fastest digits on the clock. Lap number 1 for Gordy Gundaker. Gundaker 15.541. Jason Papich 15.543, just a tick slower. And Jason Fager on lap number 1. He will be 15.531, 15.531, so that's the time to beat. As Fager's at the top, Gundaker is second, Papich now at the top, 15.290. And we'll see if Fager can pick it up on lap number 2, and he will stay second quick, so time to beat Jason Papich, 15.290. Up next, it'll be Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota, and car number 49, the 91 of Rusty Schlink out of McClure, Ohio, and Brian Shirley out of Chatham, Illinois in the 3S. Jake Tim in the Herco, Oak Ridge Fabrication, OFI Performance, Horman's HVAC, MB Customs race car for Jake Tim. 4 wins a year ago for the driver of the 49. The 91 of Rusty Schlink, 5-time American Late Model Series champion and 3-time UMP National champion. The Tom Finch Automotive, Buckeye Concrete Coatings, Velocita USA, CP Carrillo, Dominator Race Products, Domination Chassis with a Mullins race engine. He had 14 wins last year. And Brian Shirley, a 3-time winner in the desert last year, 13 wins on the year. And the Bob Cullen Racing, Hooker Trucking, Thompson Express, JJ Vickers Gaming, Kids Castle Learning Center, KBC Graphics, Cheap Cars and Integra, Rocket XR1 with Durham Power, now 4-time and defending Summer Nationals champion and 3-time and defending UMP Late Model National champion. Jake Tim, 4th fastest, 15.589. Rusty Schlink on lap number 1, 5th fastest, 15.902. Squirrel, quick time, 15.289, 15.289 for Brian Shirley. And Tim's got trouble up in turn number 2. And the Midwest Sheet Metal caution is out as Jake Tim in car number 49 has got trouble. And tell you what, Dustin, Squirrel's coming out of the box. Yeah, Brian Shirley looking fast.
Yeah, he laid down a really good lap. I don't know what happened to Jake Tim, if he got on the wall or what. That car was running went by me, and he did not get off the racetrack there, as now looks like he's trying to get back going again.
Well, Jake Tim got 1 lap. He took the white, so he will not get another lap. However, Brian Shirley will get another lap, as will Rusty Schlink. So Jake Tim will head back to the pit area in that Herco number 49. All right, so Jake Tim not realizing maybe that he'd already got 1 lap on the board and taken the white when he slowed on the second one. So we're going to get that car back to the pit area. As we said, Shirley and Schlink will get 1 more lap. Shirley currently quick time, 15.289. Schlink's going to be looking to improve. He is 6th out of 6 qualifiers. As it will be up to Schlink to bring us back to the C&D bonding green flag as Midwest Sheet Metal caution light is turned out. All right, White flag. We'll see if either driver can do better. Shirley was fastest. Schlink was slowest. Tell of two drivers. Who can improve on lap number 2? Rusty Schlink had a steam off turn number 4. Hoker Trucking checkered flag is out. And Schlink will go 4th fastest, 15.514. Can Shirley go faster? Yes, sir, he will. 15.105. And unofficially, I believe that's the fastest time of the week so far. 15.105 for Brian Shirley. Up next will be Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas, in car number 20. The 2S of Stormy Scott out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And Joey Tanner out of Portland, Oregon, in cart number 99. Rodney Sanders, 20 wins a year ago, and route to his fourth USMTS National Championship in the Wichita Tank, Paulson Rock Products, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Army Contractors. Number 20, the MB Custom with Clements Power, Stormy Scott in car number 2S, the Rancho Milagro Racing, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Eagle Moon Farms, Top of the World Ranch, Longhorn with Clements Racing engine under the hood, and the number 99, the Donofrio Racing entry for Joey Tanner out of Portland, Oregon. 3 wins last year for the driver of the OG Collective Dispensaries, Mark Nelson Oil Products, Longhorn number 99 for Joey Tanner. So all 3 drivers make the call. They're going to try to get to Brian Shirley with a 15.105. 15.105. Rodney Sanders on the clock, and lap number 1 for Joey Tanner, 7th fastest, 16.335. 16335. Stormy Scott, 4th fastest, 15.435. Not seeing Rodney Sanders on the board. Not sure if that car is picking up or not. Stormy Scott, 4th fastest. Joey Tanner, 8th, and not currently seeing a time for Rodney Sanders. We'll follow up on that one. So Stormy Scott, 4th fastest. Joey Tanner, 8th, and checking on, looks like Rodney Sanders. They may check on the transponder on that number 20. Time to beat right now, Brian Shirley, 15.105. 15.105. And last night, 15.114 was the fastest time, Dustin. So right now, Brian Shirley is in the catbird seat trying to pick up that $1,000 bonus from Premier Waste Services for the Shock the Clock Challenge. Fastest qualifying lap of the week.
Yeah, and still a lot of guys left to qualify, too. Going back to that last group real quick, Rusty Schlink was out there in that group, and I talked to Rusty at length and one of his crew guys, Shane Buckholtz, there yesterday, and we were talking about how Rusty is here kind of on a couple, he's got a couple different agendas. Obviously, he wants to race. He's never been here before, so he's looking to come down here and you know, maybe go back to McClure, Ohio with a little bit of money in his pocket, but he's building that domination chassis as well, and he said it's kind of a struggle. He said, I want to do a little bit of R&D and testing, he said, to make these cars better so that I can sell some race cars, he said, but in the same sense, he said, that's kind of hard to do because I want to be fast out of the gate. He said, no one's going to want to buy a race car if it's not really good. He said, so that's the struggle that you have when you build a race car like he's doing, but he's coming down here, he's having fun, and he said the domination race car, the chassis building business is going very well for him.
You know, Schlink has caught some heat about his schedule over the past few years, but hey, man, he's a business guy. He's got to feed his family. He does what makes sense, and you can't question that. Next set of cars come out will be the number 98 of Jared Landers out of Batesville, Arkansas, and the Arnie Random Motorsports, Jason Rowan Racing, Rowan Precision Machining, Capital Chassis with a Pro Power Racing engine, the number 98. Behind him, the number 81X of Bemidji, Minnesota's Matt Sparby, and the Power Plus Racing engine, Moyer Victory Circle, Black Duck Power Equipment, Northwoods Lumber Company, number 81X, and the 10C of Chad Olson out of Hendricks, Minnesota, the Hendricks Farmers Lumber, Olson Custom Farm, MB Custom Pro Power Racing engine entry. Landers not going to like that first lap, 15.840. Sparby, 10th fastest with a 16.293. And Olson will be 11th fastest, 16.503. All 3 drivers will be looking to pick it up here on lap number 2. And Landers a little bit, 15.840, a little bit better. Sparby on lap number 2 will stay 10th fastest. And Olson will jump up to 9th, 15.988. So Landers 8th, Olson 9th, Sparby 11th. Coming up next will be Scott Ward out of Watertown, South Dakota in car number 37, joined by Dustin Knight out of Central Point, Oregon in the 77. The 130 of Chase Allen out of Midlothian, Texas. Those 3 drivers are next. Scott Ward in the Wilbur Crop Insurance Agency, Barrel House, Cloud9 Bar and Casino, Watertown Lawn and Garden, CNC powered Rocket XR1 number 37. Dustin Knight, the Oregon Racer, will be in car 77, the RAP Racing Engine, Masters built. Sponsored by AFCO Shocks by Warrior, SC Images, Hoppus Motorsports, ABC Powder Coating, and Star Body Works. Meanwhile, the 130 of Chase Allen, last year's Texas local crate late model champion, and then be custom by CDR chassis with a Klein Racing engine, sponsored by Bobcat of North Texas, Dave Leach Construction, Circle A Construction. All sponsors on that 130 for Chase Allen. Racing his way into the main event last night. Big debut in the desert for Chase Allen. Lap number 1, Scott Ward, 10th fastest, 16.014. Dustin Knight, 14th fastest. Chase Allen, 12th. Let's see if anybody can pick it up here on lap number 2. Scott Ward will stay 10th. He does not improve. Dustin Knight, 14th. Chase Allen, 12th. Next 3 qualifiers, we'll have the number 48 of Craig Parker out of Waddell, Arizona. The Klein Racing Engine, Rocket XR1, MDM Accounting, ATEC Engineering race car, joined on the speedway by Mitch McGrath. And car number 74 out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Last night's Pro Power Racing Dash winner. And the 3X of Lyndon Bolt out of Rapid City, South Dakota. McGrath with 2 wins last year's. And the Rocket XR1 Pro Power Racing Engine number 74, sponsored by Diamond Gems Auto Sales, Source Services Dumpster Rental, Baling Racing Products, and Matco Tools by Mike Formella, all sponsors on that number 74. Meanwhile, Lyndon Bolt and the Shocks by Hammer, Bolt Construction, American National, BJ's Food and Fuel, Beardsley, Jensen and Lee Attorneys, Gen Pro Energy Solutions, Pro Power Racing Engine number 3X. That's your next 3 qualifiers. Going to try to get Chase Allen back to the pits as he got a little confused, and there we'll get him to the infield down the front straightaway. All right, time to beat. Brian Charlie still with a 15.105. Lap number 1, Craig Parker. And he'll be 15th fastest. Meanwhile, Mitch McGrath goes 9th fastest, 15.877. Lyndon Bolt, 17th fastest, 18.157. Not what he was looking for. Craig Parker on the lap 2, 12th fastest, 16.084. That was his best lap. McGrath will jump up to 8th with a 15.621. And Lyndon Bolt looking to improve on lap number 2. And Bolt will stay in position number 17. Coming up next, it'll be Tony Toast in car 91T out of Pismo Beach, California. And joining him on the speedway will be the number 21X of Tyler Regal out of Valentine, Nebraska. First time we've seen him this weekend. Then Jim Whistler in the number 28W out of Otis, Oregon. Tony Toes, number 91T out of Pismo Beach, California. And the Seal Master Billabong Longhorn chassis with Clements Power, sponsored by Midwest Sheet Metal, Bill Stein, Toast Construction, Toast Grading and Paving, and Papich Construction, the 2015 West Coast Shootout champion. Meanwhile, Tyler Regal making his debut. Did not race here with us yesterday, the Valentine, Nebraska driver. And we'll see what Regal can do in his debut. And the J. Dickens powered rocket chassis, sponsored by Southside Body and Paint. Also in this set will be the number 28W of Jim Whistler out of Otis, Oregon. The Whistler Investments, all-purpose storage, Whistler Construction, MS Shock Therapy, Rocket XR1 with a Vic Hill power plant. Waiting on those 3 to come to the speedway, and they may have took a little siesta over in staging as we wait for them to top that hill and turn number 2. Brian Shirley, the time to beat, still a 15.105. We appreciate everybody in the stands, everybody watching back home on Flow Racing. Miss Amanda Simpson, the dogs, the kids, they're all tuned in, and they're rooting for dear old dad, Chris Simpson, here racing with it. Well, it's Amanda's husband. It's the kid's dad, but good to see Amanda tuned in. Sean Danner back home tuned in. Jack Sandlin, Ryan Roberts, Coach Palmer tuned in. We appreciate everybody supporting the broadcast of the 15th annual Kaiser Manufacturing Wild West Shootout presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts here at FK Rod-Ins Arizona Speedway in Santan Valley, Arizona. Lap number 1 for Tony Toast, 8th fastest. Good lap, 15.606, 15606. Tyler Regal comes around for his first qualifying effort of the weekend. He'll be 17th fastest. Meanwhile, Whistler 14th fastest, 16.269. And we have lost Tony Toast to the infield as he took 1 lap. Meanwhile, Regal and Whistler work off turn number 4, coming around for their second lap. Some smoke out of Regal's car. Regal will stay where he was at, and 14th will be Jim Whistler as Regal will be 18th. Tony Toast, 8th fastest. 19 will be up next of Dustin Sorensen out of Rochester, Minnesota. 6 wins a year ago, including 1 in the late model with the Dirt Kings Tour at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Dirt late model Hall of Famer Terry Phillips will be in the next set out of Springfield, Missouri in car 75, and Turbo Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas in the 1. Terry Phillips and Andy's Frozen Custard, Don Bab Motorsports, Kaiser Manufacturing, Integra Shocks and Springs, Kenny Style, VP Racing Fuels, Capital Chassis with a Durham Power Plant. 6 wins last year for TP, including 1 late model win. Tyler Erb and the Best Performance Motorsports Rocket XR1, car number 1 with Clements Power out of New Waverly, Texas. 5th in last year's Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series standings in the first class Septic, New Point Lighting, Basil Race Fuels, car 1. And also in this set, as we said, Dustin Sorensen making his debut in the desert this week And the MB Custom action-powered Ford Metro Incorporated, CJ's Auto Sales, Yankee Trucking, Carroll's Corn Schaefer's Racing Oil, and Sorensen & Sorensen Painting and Decorating, all sponsors on Dustin Sorensen, who won 5 mod races and 1 late model feature last year. White flag is out. Rodney Sanders is actually going to be in this set as he comes back out after his transponder didn't work earlier. 11th fastest, 15.967. Now Sorensen 10th fastest, 15.645, 15645. Terry Phillips on lap 1, and Phillips not what he wanted, 20th fastest, 16.679. Sanders jumps up to 9th, 15.619. Sorensen will stay 11th, and we'll see if Terry Phillips can improve. And Phillips will jump up to 12th, 15.787. So Rodney Sanders 9th, Dustin Sorensen 11th, Terry Phillips 12th. Up next will be Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas in the 1, Justin Mills out of Pineville, Missouri in the 6N, and the 76 of Blair Nodorf out of Renner, South Dakota. Justin Mills in the Elusive Competition Engine, MB Customs race car number 6N, sponsored by NV Suspension, Arkansas Farm and Beverage, 4-State Racing Supply, and United Tree Service. All sponsors on that hollafb.com number 6N. Also on the speedway, the number 76 of Blair Nodorf, last year's Tri-State Late Model Series champion. The Black Diamond race car, Pro Power Racing Engine, Asphalt Bros, Bargain Barn Tires, Center Grandpa Ben's Ranch number 76. 1 win a year ago, and that came at Wagner Speedway in South Dakota. Getting toward the end of Group A, and it's Brian Shirley, still the time to beat, a 15.105 for Brian Shirley. Fastest time we've seen so far. Lap number 1 for Tyler Erb. Erb 7th fastest, 15.888, 15.888. Justin Mills 25th fastest, 17.402. Nodorf 16.808. He'll be 22nd fastest. Can Turbo improve on lap number 2? And Erb will stay 7th quick. 15.588 was his best lap. That came on lap number 1. Mills will stay 22nd. Now Nodorf 22nd. As the fastest in that set, Tyler Erb, 7th fastest, 15.588. Final 3 qualifiers in Group A, and it'll be John Cornell out of Phoenix, Arizona, the A-Tech Engineering, JC Precision, Cornet Chassis Engine, the 3-time SWDRA late model champion, joined by Tim Lance out of Brimfield, Illinois, in car number 48, the Digital Copy Systems, Titan Industries, Avanti Restaurante, Pro Power Racing Engine, MB Custom Chassis 48, and the 21F of the 20-year-old out of Montrose, New York, play again, Montrose, Wisconsin, that'll be Gunnar Frank, the 20-year-old out of Montrose, Iowa. The J. Dickens powered MB Custom race car, sponsored by Service Master RRH, TNC Development, and Frank Farms. Last year's Dirt Kings Tour Rookie of the Year. Final 3 qualifiers in Group A. Can anybody get to Brian Shirley's 15.105? 3 drivers with 2 laps to figure it out. John Cornell, 23rd fastest, 16.568. Tim Lance, 24th fastest, 16.646. Gunnar Frank, 22nd fastest, 16.319. Lap number 2, Cornell will stay 24th fastest. His first lap was his best one. Tim Lance will not improve. He'll stay 25th fastest. And Gunnar Frank will stay 22nd. So that wraps up Group A. Currently, your overall Sport Truck RV Fast Qualifier presented by Scriven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze as Brian Shirley of 15.105. He'll be on the pole for Heat 1. Then it's Jason Papich, Jason Fager, Stormy Scott, Rusty Schlink. That's your top 5. Then Gordy Gundaker, Tyler Erb, Jake Tim, Tony Toast. As we get set now for Group B, and your first qualifier is going to be Mr. 10-time World of Outlaw Sprint Car Champion and 10-time